Hello, grade 7. So, today we will be doing your chapter number 23rd, which is unpacking gender, gender inequality. You will read a lot about gender inequality. We actually see in our day to day life, but when you read it, you'll be amazed that these things happen till today. Let's start the chapter. Equality is an essential condition for the balanced development of man. Man is born free. Nature does not discriminate even after his birth. The Universal Declaration of Rights of Man, 1789, by the French and American Declaration of Independence, recognized an absolute truth that God creates all men equal. Therefore, all men, all people, men and women, should be treated in equal terms. But this is not the reality. Harsh thing. Anyways, however, the reality is otherwise. Our social system has created differences among men and inequalities among various classes of the society. Gender inequality is one of the prominent social evils that our society suffers from. Gender inequality implies unequal treatment meted out to boys and girls. It may also be defined as discrimination made between males and females. This evil exists world over. In fact, gender is a social construct and not a biological phenomena. Social aspects of gender inequality. There exist central norms and values that determines roles expected from boys and girls in the family, community, schools, and public spaces. These norms and values are associated with prejudice about male and female. We generally fix people into one image and thus create a stereotype. For example, we always say, don't cry, you are a boy. Boys don't cry because they're always brave. So crying is quality generally we associate with girls and women. So when a baby boy falls and gets hurt, his parents and other family member often consoles him saying these kind of statements. But that if the boy has fallen down, obviously it's going to hurt and going to cry. But our society, as child grow up, they start believing that boys do not cry because boys are brave and crying is a sign of weakness. And if he cries, others will tease him or laugh at him. There are some more stereotypes, etc. Example, boys are physically strong, they're naughty, rowdy, good at sports. Whereas on the other hand, girls are emotional, soft spoken, and gentle, well behaved, good at dancing, painting, and cooking. We hear the above statements quite often and accept them as truth. In fact, we fit all boys and girls into an image that society creates around us and expects all boys and girls to behave accordingly. In the family, particularly in rural community, girls are expected to stay at home and help their mothers in cooking, cleaning the house, washing clothes, and other domestic chores. As such, they are not sent to school to receive formal education. And even if they are sent to school, they are not encouraged to study seriously. They are withdrawn from school at the slight pretext. That is why the number of dropouts from school among girls is very high in rural areas. It is almost universally believed that the girls should remain within the four walls of the house and fulfill domestic duties, including rearing of children after their marriage. On the other hand, boys are deemed as future bread earners and therefore sent to school for education and a better fit. Discrimination is usually made between girls and boys in the family. Girls are not provided wholesome food and proper health and medical care. The high rate of maternal mortality and instances of female infanticides and female foeticides are quite common. Economic aspects of gender inequality. Gender-based inequality also exists in the division of labor within the family. In the rural area, girls do all the domestic work, look after their siblings, the elderly and the sick, clean the house, prepare food, graze the cattle, and collect firewood. The parents are generally reluctant to spare them from schooling. Lack of physical safety for girls, especially when they have to travel a long distance to school, and other reasons hinder their education. In the urban areas, however, the situation is quite different. Girls get opportunities for education and employment, although the figures are still less for girls than boys. It is quite encouraging that in education at all the level girls excel. In competitive exams too, they bag top positions. Besides, women are entering into various professional fields, including business, commerce, administration, etc. However, the fate of women in general keeps them tied to household works, which is hardly recognized. Many women in rural as well as urban area, besides performing household duties, engage in various occupations such as domestic helpers, laborers, vendors, etc. But their contribution is hardly recognized. They often do not get protection from unions or employment laws. They are given less remuneration for the same work as done by men. Factors which perpetuate gender inequality. Low status of women in society. In the post-Vedic period, the social condition of women began to deteriorate, and their status in society further deteriorated when the medieval period, when they were forced to observe parda. The custom of sati and the prevalence of polygamy brought about further deterioration in their socio-economic life. Women were economically dependent on men and were denied share in parents' and husband property. They were considered inferior to men. Number two, discrimination against girl child. The discrimination against girl child stems from many factors. Birth of a boy is rejoiced in the family because he is considered essential to continue the family, while the female child will shift to the family of her in-laws after her marriage. Moreover, the birth of a girl child is considered as a liability on the family. Parents have to spend a lot of their rearing and give away dowry on her marriage. The growing number of female infanticides and feticide speaks of the miserable plight of females who are denied the right even to live. Age-old system against women. In Indian society, girls are married at a very young age. In case of early death of husband, she had to suffer long life of agony as a child widow. The dowry system, still prevalent in the society, forced many poor girls to remain unmarried. Widows were not permitted to remarry. They had to lead a life of utter negligence and despise. The custom of sati was regarded as the noblest virtue of the widow. Many a times, widows were forced to become sati against their wishes. Neglect of female education. Women are denied education. It was considered useless to educate them as they are not required to seek employment. Social reforms for upliftment and empowerment of women. Many social and religious reforms like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan during the 19th century made concerted efforts to improve the pitiable conditions of women in India. These reformers laid emphasis on education of women. Raja Ram Mohan Roy persuaded Lord Bentinck to prohibit the practice of sati by law. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar founded many educational institutions and encouraged widow remarriage. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan condemned further system and polygamy in the Muslim society and also advocated for education of Muslim women. After independence, the Indian government tried to remove gender inequality by making the following provisions through legislation. Women were given equal political rights through UAF. Women were given equal share in the property of their parents. The Hindu Bill and the Kamla Act were passed to do away with this disparity. The government has declared dowry as illegal. Persons demanding dowry are liable to the prosecution. Many schools and colleges for girls have been opened for imparting education of girls. As a result of the above efforts, much improvement have been achieved in the status of women in the society. Many of them now adorn high offices in various fields, including politics. However, many evils still persist in the society. Adverse child sex ratio, high infant and maternity mortality, wide gender gaps in literacy and wage rates, escalating violence against women, and child trafficking are some of the areas to grave concern. The government also realizes the condition of women. Measures to uplift health and nutrition standard of women are being taken up. Special attention is being given to the nutrition requirement of the potential mothers of the future. Empowerment of women cannot happen unless they are provided with adequate income generating activities through wage and self-employment. A number of schemes such as Swamasiddha and Swavalambam are in progress to facilitate the employed women working, women hostel daycare centers and creches are being developed. However, much more is yet to be done. Government efforts or legislation alone cannot change the norms of the society and mindset of the people. Media, youth, girls, women, and the entire society should come forward to bring the desired revolutionary changes. A recent report called Engendering Development, released by the World Bank, suggests that the gender equality is the key to effective development in any society. Now it's your duty to teach others. If they think that there is a difference between a boy and a girl, you should tell them that everyone is equal. All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice year ahead. Do well in your exams. Take care. Bye-bye.